Hello, my muffins. Welcome back to Decoding Your Business Success with Astrology. We are now in Leo season, the lunar month of Leo, also called Av in the Hebrew calendar. This is the month that your business can't stay invisible. And it could be a lot of darkness in this month, but also a lot of power for unlocking magnetic visibility, aligned clients, and really showing up from a whole new energy of heart-centered leadership. And I know that this works. Just a quick, humble brag, so you know if you should listen to me. I built a $30,000 a month business using a free Skool community. I was in Alex Hermosi's private mastermind, the Skool 100, chosen out of 5,000 applicants. And now I'm full-time online living my dream. This has been my dream for forever. We're living in Croatia because I can literally work anywhere in the world. And I've been using the principles that I'm going to teach you today so that by the end of this video, you'll understand the energy of this month, both the dark and the light, what these energies are calling forth from you and how to harness the power that is available for you to succeed in business. And it's going to require some work, but we're going to do this the aligned way, not the hustle and grind way. So just a bit about the month of Av. So it goes from July 25th. The lunar calendar is a bit different from the Gregorian calendar, but the first 9, it's ruled by the Hebrew letter Tet, which means the hidden good waiting to be revealed. So we're talking about the business gifts and the gifts that you've been given that are meant to shine this month for the sake of sharing. It's a fire month, right? Because it's ruled by the sun, and it can carry massive potential for your creativity and visibility and magnetism, but you can also be burned by it because some of the shadow traits of Leo are the ego and performance for the sake of validation and praise. And so we're going to channel the power that is available to us this month to show up in a whole new way, to replace the ego with love, leading with the heart. It's the difference between performing for claps and applause and leadership for impact. Being willing to show up authentically regardless of how it's received. So on the light sides, like Leo, whether you're a Leo or have Leo in your chart or not, I work a lot with human design. Have been really getting into Kabbalah lately, and it's interesting how it layers on top. My South Node is in Leo, but on the light side of a Leo is having this courage, like this fearless energy to show up and be seen. Being really generous. They can be really, really generous and really come from the heart, really great at creative expression. And they just have this uplifting radiance like the sun that has the power to uplift humanity. And like I said, the shadow side is, kind of unnecessary drama, feeling like they have to perform. They take things personally if everything's not received the way that they had intended. And really wanting this admiration. What I learned about myself with the South Node in Leo is that it's like in a past life, you were royalty and everyone was catering to you. And you were like having people dress you and take care of you and do all the things. And so in this life, you're like, well, why don't I have that anymore? Because now my North Node's in Aquarius. And that's because that's not what I'm here to do in this life. So this is a close to the heart topic. And I want to do these every month, but I feel especially connected to this one because it is so powerful. The energy is split this month, so there are no coincidences. Ask yourself, starting from July 25th in the past few days, have you been feeling a lot of pressure, darkness, judgment, ego, maybe some ego death, like really having to let go of things? That's by design because the first 9 days of Av are really heavy and call for introspection and destructive, but they're also super powerful. So the lunar month of Av in the Hebrew calendar was when the temples of Jerusalem were burned down. But in the Zohar, which is the sacred text of the Kabbalists that kind of decodes the Bible, what it actually means, they say the temples weren't really destroyed. On the physical plane, they were destroyed. But we know that we're only seeing 1% of what's actually happening. There's what we can see, and there's everything going on in the background. Destruction and rebirth, they go together. You have to let go of the old to make space for the new. What is yours can never be with somebody else. So the first 9 days can be really hard. Really good for auditing yourself, your business, what you want to let go of. And then after that, the energy lifts dramatically. Like there's so much power and vibrancy and magnetism available. It's this season of rebuilding, joy, love. It's this like cosmic reset button. And that's when you can go into like heart-centered launches and visibility. We don't want to do like really dangerous activities in the first 9 days. We have a few of those days left, but it's really a time to let go of the old, ego death. And there was one more thing I wanted to say about that. Okay, it'll come to me. So when we lead from the heart, we become radiant. And when we lead from the ego, we repel the clients that we want because we're trying to get something. There's an agenda. And I was talking to my clients about this yesterday, how there's like a nuance here, right? Because obviously there's an agenda when you're showing up for your business. You're doing it with the intention to serve. High intention, low attachment, without being attached to the outcome. Knowing that we have to do the physical work in order for the creator to step in. It's our only job is to manifest to the strengths and the gifts that we've been given to the best of our abilities, and then the creator will make up for the rest. And now I want to ask you, where are you hiding in your business? What is one area of leadership you're ready to step into? This is a place where ego has been masquerading as strategy, i.e., I'm not going to take any, this will work. I don't see the results. Don't know what people are going to think of me if I share this. Not showing up authentically. Are you showing up and chasing trends? Are you like tracking the likes and the saves and the shares like a fucking hawk? And if you don't get them, you don't get that applause that you were seeking, you kind of shut down. Perfection is actually the lowest vibration you can go for because it doesn't exist. This is an area where like, where have you made commitments that you were going to do something that you haven't been following through on? Because what'll happen is the greatest light is revealed at the last like 5%. If you go 95% physical work, doing whatever you can, and then right at the end, because you haven't seen the results yet, you give up, you stop, you change course, you go do something else, the greatest light is revealed at that last 5%. That's when you're going to see all of the effects, like all of the effects of all the action you put in up until this point. But what you do is you hold back in your content, in your business, with your clients, with your systems, because you haven't seen the results yet, when really the only thing that you're in charge of is making yourself discoverable by showing up and talking about things that are on your heart, that you're learning, that you're excited about, that can serve the collective, and having the systems in place to support you. Because if you subconsciously believe that if 10 new clients came to your business tomorrow, it would literally break your business, that you'd have to sacrifice your well-being, your life, your time with your friends, you're gonna block those clients because you're scared. You're not sure if you would be able to handle it. So I want you to comment below, where is it time for you to step into leadership? Like, what specific area of your business have you not been showing up as a leader? Have you been making commitments to yourself or to your coach, to your mentors, and then not following through? I'll give you an example. I created this 100K business by design kind of workbook, right? That had the 4 seasons of building a 6-figure business. And I finished the lead magnet. The workbook was all pretty. I had my VA make it all nice in Canva. And then what the plan was is I was going to finish mapping out the seasons to go along with it inside Spiritual Business School for my business coaching mastermind clients. And I had done winter. I had a little bit of spring, but summer and fall, I was just like, I was like, it's too much. I don't know if it's going to be right. What if it's not helpful? What if it's a waste of time? Ooh, that's a big one. Being like, you have to understand that no time is ever wasted. Nothing is ever wasted. And if you take a project halfway through and then give up when you're almost to the finish line, that's a block. That's a lack of leadership. It doesn't even matter if it's right or not. You just have to do it. Like, you have to be 100% committed to doing the physical work, knowing that you're not even in charge of how it's received. You're not in charge of whether it's right or powerful. It might be the wrong thing, but you'll never find the right thing if you're not doing it. And so what I realized was, I was like, oh, it's a waste of time. It's going to take a lot of time. What if it doesn't work? And so I was like not doing it. And what I realized was, I have the ability to manifest anything in 24 hours. It's not up to me what the outcome of this action will be. It is only up to me to do my part. And my part is finishing what I started, because this is a project, a course of action that is near and dear to my heart. Like, this is what I do. I help spiritual entrepreneurs build six-figure businesses by design, using human design weaved into their sales and marketing. So of course that I had to finish that. Of course it has to be done. So I buckled down and I finished half of spring in a few hours. Done. And I'm making progress. Right when I did that, another client booked a call with me and ended up joining my business coaching program that I had never reached out to. We didn't follow each other. She found me through Skool. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? The power of finishing what you start and going 100%, having this belief that you can manifest anything in 24 hours. And if you're not doing it, if you're not manifesting it, bringing in physical reality, that's a block that I have. I realized that. It was my block. It wasn't anything else for anybody to do. So comment below, what is one thing you've committed to doing or to finishing that you haven't? I want to see it in the comments, because by you sharing it there, you're holding yourself accountable. Okay. Leo is all about radiance and visibility. Like I said, it's ruled by the sun. It's time to be seen, not hiding behind perfectionism or fear or limiting beliefs, but just radiating your authentic expression. Like I said, your only job is to make yourself discoverable and create and put the systems in place to support the client's abundance that you are manifesting. The true light is revealed. Light shines when the ego is removed. Ego is all about me, fear, doubt, uncertainty, and it will lie to you. It's a liar. And it won't have you do the things that it knows are going to have the greatest impact on your evolving, because it knows that by doing so, you'll destroy it. So it'll tell you, you're not capable, it's not right, you can't do it, and that's not true. I always tell my clients this, like, we have mastermind calls every week, and a lot of the clients, they come to all of them. Some of them hardly come to, I don't know what they do, but a lot of them come to all of them. And what I say is, like, it's the class or the call that you don't want to go to that's going to totally change your life, your business. Because that's the one your ego is going to say, I'm tired, I don't have time, I don't need this, I'm just going to keep doing this. That's when your ego will lie to you, because it doesn't want to be destroyed. So we're here to lead from the heart, because we are heart-centered soulpreneurs, not for out of fear of judgment, but really just showing up with the intention to serve and allowing that to be enough. Because, and this is one thing I love using human design for. I'll give you an example. I'm a self-projected projector, and I work with a number of self-projected projectors. And whenever anybody joins my free spiritual business school, they can get a free mini human design for business audit, and they include their most active social platform, and I'll audit their content. And if you're a self-projected projector and you're not speaking in your content, your voice, your G center is the magnetic center. That's what draws people to you. We all have different things that make us magnetic. And when you're trying to be somebody else or performing, you don't get the results. And so what was happening is, this one woman, she had a good sized audience and followers, and her content was getting a lot of likes or views, but it wasn't converting to sales, Because do you see the difference between performing and leading from the heart? People want to connect with you. They want to see you. And also the throat is the only manifestation center in the body graph. So if you're not using your voice to say things out loud and bring them into existence, like it's crucial. It's required. There's a few different archetypes of this month. So you could be the blinding sun, which is posting everywhere, posting your stories every hour. I see people do some crazy things, some crazy things. I'm just a projector. I don't have time for all that. But it's posting a lot out of desperation or fear, burning yourself out, forcing launches that aren't aligned, forcing offers that aren't aligned, trying to serve everybody instead of serving your people. Your energy's scattered all over the place, and the results are disappointing because you're not getting any of these things all the way to the finish line. You're a little bit over here, a little bit over here. We're halfway in to the business, and it burns you out, essentially, because you haven't chosen, you haven't made a decision. Then the shadowed sun is hiding, waiting for everything to be perfect, brilliant, but invisible. And your gifts are being unused. Why? Because you're waiting for the perfect moment behind the scenes endlessly. And what the analogy I like to give is if you're driving at night in your car and you're going from, like, I'm going from my house here and I'm going to a restaurant across town. I can't see the entire route from when I leave my house. I have my headlights on and I can see just the part in front of me. And guess what? That's all I need to see to actually get there. I don't need all the steps at once. I just need to know my next step. And if you're not sure what your next step is, pray about it. Ask the creator. Say, show me what to do and give me the courage to take it. Show me what, and I did this just recently with my Skool community, because I used to have a free school and a paid school, and I closed the free and was just doing the paid. And I was considering making it into a freemium community, which I'll talk about in a second. And I wasn't sure. I didn't want to do it just because, I thought it could work or for the success or the money or whatever. I wanted it to be coming from a place of, is this aligned for me? Is this my right next step? And so I prayed about it. I was like, show me, is this it? And God, the universe, creator, source will deliver people and information and little tidbits and nudges. However your intuition or the creator speaks to you, you'll be shown. You will be shown. You ask for help, it is given every single time. And then we have the magnetic sun. This is my favorite sun out of all the suns. This is you being visible, you're aligned, you're confident, you're showing up consistently from a place of authentic power. And clients are drawn to that natural radiance because even no matter how afraid you are to post your content, I used to be terrified of talking about my addiction and my past and going to jail. I was so scared. And I knew that I had a story and I had a lot to share, but I was terrified. And so I started with a podcast. I did a podcast episode. You guys have probably heard me tell this story before, but it was why I'm grateful I was a heroin addict. And nobody knew I had a podcast, right? And I was a professional relationship director for an oral surgeon at the time. And I was so terrified they were going to find the podcast and discover that I was a fraud and a terrible person and fire me and I would be destitute and homeless on the street. That's what my ego was telling me. But my heart was saying, you have to share this. And so I shared it in a podcast and it was really good. It was such a catalyst. It really began this whole online business journey for me. And then it got to where I was creating video content, Instagram and TikTok. Well, I started with TikTok because nobody knew me there. And when I started opening up and sharing about addiction and my past, I have never, not once, had somebody say something hateful or mean ever. And I know that doesn't mean it'll never happen. I know that. But I'm just sharing this with you because hopefully it gives you the courage to share your story and what's on your heart and things that are really meaningful to you. You're going to be surprised because you're just trying to be there's 3 marketing triggers. It's relevance, omnipresence, and intimacy. And relevance is if you're just sharing things that everybody knows that are just oh, crystals are cool, or, and you're talking to a spiritual audience. It's yeah, duh. You got to have something different to say. Don't be afraid to shine is the moral of that story. So the work that you are actually responsible for, and this is why I love Kabbalah so much for business, because it gives you really clear guidelines. It's like you're given the instruction manual for the universe and for manifesting anything that you desire, and it's very clear. And I like that. So the spiritual work is literally asking yourself, where am I being reactive in my business? Where am I not posting, not sharing, not talking, not doing the things that I need to do because it's scary? Or avoiding my triggers because it's like triggering for you to create content or make a YouTube video. And it's actually, we should seek out our triggers. We should seek them out. Or not investing in a mentor or in guides and people that pour into me, because it's like, I don't even care how much it costs. If they can tell me one thing about myself, about my business, the ROI is always there, because I know I'm going to do the work. I know I'm going to actually do it, and we're just not aware of our things. So that might be an example. Or like, oh, I can do it all myself. So just, where am I being reactive? Reactive is anything that we do when we are scared that is towards instant gratification. Where am I reaching for instant, immediate gratification as opposed to feeling the pain and doing what I'm supposed to be doing anyways? Then the physical work. We have to do max spiritual work, max physical work, 100%, 100. Creating content from authenticity, high intention, low attachment. Do the work without trying to control the outcome. Another example of physical work for me is I realized I needed a content system. That would save me time, because I just have so many other things to do, but I know that I can't outsource my content completely. Like, I have to have a system. And so for me, it was like not re-recording the same video 10 fucking times because it wasn't perfect. Hiring someone to do my thumbnails for YouTube. Because I not being so worried about how it's received. People ask me all the time, my clients always say, like, how are you so authentic? How do you just show up and talk about things? This has been a long time in the making. Long time. The certainty formula is having 100% certainty that everything that's happening right now is from the creator, and it is good and helping you transform and helping you become the kind of vessel person who is capable of receiving and sustaining the abundance that you want. Because we do not change when everything is good. We change when things are falling apart. We all need days where everything's going great and according to plan, everybody's clapping. They're like, oh, Amanda, you just changed my life. That's so great. Like, those are great. We need those. But the greatest light is revealed. We make the most progress spiritually when on the bad days, when it's not going according to plan, when we don't have the willpower or the motivation, but we do it anyways because we know this is what's required. And then the prayer is so important, because it's like when a sperm and egg meet, the woman doesn't actually like make the baby. She's not in charge of actually making the baby. There's a certain magic light process that's going on in the background that actually brings a soul into a baby's body and like births it into reality. So by doing the work with the right intentions to serve and to use your gifts to share with humanity, to be a giver, and let the creator take care of the outcome. Ask, how can I be a channel? How can you speak through me? How can I share this in a way that it lands, that people can hear it, that it meets the right people? Bring me 5 new committed clients this month. You can ask for anything you want. Pray for what you want, but be open, flexible on the how or the when. When we don't pray, it makes our ego feel, it's like when we're successful, we take credit, and then when we fail, we're like a victim. Because the ego wants to believe that it's important, it's strong, it's smart, intelligent, when really that takes us out of self. By the way, this is a weekly practice. This is the miracle formula. We do it every week inside Spiritual Business School, which is my free community. I'll link below. So Moses was chosen to lead because he did the maximum work without having any idea how it was going to come together. Leadership isn't about having this natural talent. It's about showing up fully regardless of the results. It's so easy to be a giver and create content and be visible and express yourself when everybody's clapping, when it's easy, when you've got hundreds of thousands of followers and people just who hang on. It's so easy to do that. It's the real work is doing it when you don't see the outcome, when you don't see the results, when you don't see a way forward. You can hire a trainer who they can give you the workouts, they can give you the meal plan, but you actually have to go to the gym and lift the weights. No one else can do your spiritual or physical work for you. Leadership is about moving forward in the face of fear with the right intention and having faith that everything you do is valuable. Everything you do is powerful in helping you change for the better. There's no such thing as wasted time. When you believe that every single thing that you do is valuable and you're just showing up with a generous heart from a giving place, sharing from the heart, your clients, like content followers, they're not the ones paying you. Like that's the biggest block to your abundance, is believing that your money comes from another person. The abundance comes from the creator. They put those clients in front of you. Every single one of my clients, every single one, they're like, I prayed to the creator. I asked God to show me a path forward. I was so burned out. I've tried all these other things and you just popped up on my FYP. You popped up on School Discovery every single time. Did I fucking do that? No, I didn't do that. I've just been doing what I do. I've been doing what I do. And so when you believe that everything you do is powerful, you're not worried about you're not attached to a specific client or a specific outcome. You can invoice the creator. You're like, look, I spent 5 hours on my content. I built this system. I made this YouTube video. I had a few conversations in the DMs. I'm here to serve. Here's my invoice. Send me $50,000. You're not invoicing a person, you're invoicing the creator, because you know without a shadow of a doubt, everything you're doing right now is powerful, it's valuable, and it is uplifting humanity. You're being a giver, coming from a giving place, sharing your gifts with the world. The reason that most spiritual entrepreneurs stay stuck, it's partly visibility, but it's not having the right strategy for you. It's following someone else's template and cookie cutter strategies, bro marketing, pushy sales. None of that shit works for you. None of that works for you. So don't try to put yourself in that box. No, the problem is with growing a business, there are 99 million thousand ways to grow an online business, to create content, to show up, to speak, to sell. And most of them work. It's about what works for you. Because if you're trying to replicate what someone else is doing now to have the success they have now, first of all, you don't know what they did to get there. You don't know their human design. You don't know their astrology. You don't know shit about this person. You have no clue. It doesn't make sense. Your energy, your astrology, your human design is your competitive advantage, and your entire business should be built around it. So if you've been trying to force yourself into these other boxes and you feel burnt out, confused, misaligned, that's why. Start leaning into your human design, how it affects the way you market and sell and serve in your business, how you put together offers. The other thing that's major is a lot of confusion around visibility. Creating short form content alone, just creating like Instagram and TikTok, very difficult, time consuming, long process to convert high ticket straight from that. It's very difficult. The other thing is just creating content because for the sake of it, and you get a bunch of likes, it makes you feel good about yourself, but it's not converting to sales. So there's really no holistic strategy for creating content that builds authority and converts from the right intention. Random like value posts, like 3 tips. I used to do so many tips and value posts. Oh my God. I was like, here's 3 tips to manifest success in your life. Brush your teeth with the other hand. And it was good. It's what I had to do to get started and get, practice, I guess. But it wasn't making sales. I'll just say that. So the solution to this, and this is so perfect for Leo for this month, is doing a freemium Skool community. The other issue is like trying to do everything manually, and you got a bunch of different like Google Docs and links and agreements and different things like all over the place, which goes back to what I said earlier. If you subconsciously believe that 10 new clients would break your business, do you feel like you would feel safe calling those clients in? Because they're already there. They're already out there and waiting for you. I'll tell you that. Like the way my clients say, I was praying for somebody. I asked the universe, I asked God, and then you showed up. Your clients are doing that right now for you. They just can't find you because you're not sure you can handle it, if that's the case. So the solution to all of this is doing one freemium Skool community. I did a video on this just recently. I'll try to link that below. And then I also have a guide, like a document that goes with it that is available inside my free Skool. And because one simple hub, it's like an exhale for your nervous system. You know where everything is. It takes a couple hours a week to run. Everything's there. And it gives you the most bang for your buck. A freemium community is a free community on the front end, high ticket on the back end. Because operational complexity is the death of the educational, transformational creator. You think it's sexy to have a bunch of funnels and email sequences and landing pages. It's not, and it's not even necessary. One hub for all of your things beats 100 fucking tips or sunset posts on Instagram any single day because it builds genuine connection. It builds connection. I just said that. Familiarity. That's basically what I'm saying. The other piece of this is what's the point in being visible and building an audience if you don't have the offers or the infrastructure in place to support it? Has you creating content for content's sake instead of content being your biggest client attraction tool. And one of the biggest mistakes, everybody wants to have a membership, right? They're like, I'll do a $49 membership. The problem with that is it is just as hard to convert someone for a $49 membership. They'll stay for a few months. They don't really get results because they're not really invested, and then they leave, as it does to sell a $10,000 offer. And I know because I've done this. And so what we're really going for here is depth over breadth, like quality over quantity. We don't want like scattered random posts all over the internet. We just want like one central hub where you can go deep with people, because that's how you show your authority. There's 1.5 million people selling coaching on the internet at this point. It's really difficult to get across in a 60-second reel why they should choose you. We need long form for authority. We need the community, the connection, the authentic, the results that you've gotten, or like binge through your content. And it really just accelerates the speed of trust. It's a trust accelerator. I call it just a trust funnel. It's not like an actual funnel. It's literally short form, long form, freemium community, because clients are able to binge your content. So if it takes 7 to 11 hours of someone watching you to make a purchase decision, that's a lot of TikToks versus you got a YouTube playlist that solves a problem for your ideal client and then exposes them to your offer and what you do as the next logical step, because it is. You're only going to get so far on your own. And do you know how much more motivated, inspired, empowered you would feel? That nothing is wasted, that everything's working together. You know what to say. And now you're getting intel from the people in your free community. They will literally tell you what they're struggling with, what they need help with, what you can do for them. That's heart-centered leadership. Whenever I'm not sure what to do in my business, I literally just ask my muffins. I'm like, look guys, I'm thinking about making this or this. What do you need? And usually whatever I think that they need is not what they need. Things that make sense to me don't make sense to them. I wouldn't think, because we're just in different places. It's not about, better or worse. We all have our strengths. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for a little while, so you don't really know. So it builds massive trust. You've got a concentrated place for all of your wisdom. It's a nice reel or a TikTok, and they're like, oh, this was cool. They like it, and then they're on to the next one. You're not able to get the depth across. Here's exactly how you are going to do it. And I built this actually for myself, the 100K Business by Design AI, because I was feeling all over the place. I didn't know how to go about creating like a holistic content system and based on my human design. And so I built it for me first. And then now I have a template that I give to all of my clients so that you can map out 30 days of authority boosting content that drives sales in an hour. The old way of creating content is literally draining your life force. And if you're creating content and nobody's converting, it's literally a hobby and wasting so much of your time and energy. Really difficult to, like I said, be inspired, motivated. So short form content is amazing for visibility, but it is not going to sell high ticket on its own without a massive audience, proven system, frameworks, like very difficult. Your soul clients, they're not paying you for tips. They're paying you for transformation, and they need to be exposed to the depth of the work that you do to feel confident and trust themselves enough to make a purchase decision. And the 100K Biz by Design AI, it's a free template. I'll link you to it below. It creates content that matches your unique energy, your offers, and your ideal client. And it just makes it super fucking efficient. So you know exactly, you're like, I'm gonna focus on this YouTube playlist this month. I gotta repurpose that into 10 pieces of short form content, titles, hooks, thumbnails, no, not thumbnails, verbal hooks, title hooks, the bullet points, the CTA, the caption, the hashtags, everything. Like I said, if your content is not converting, you have a hobby, not a business. Your alignment and authentic expression is what magnetizes committed, aligned clients. So let's just do a little exercise here for a second. Imagine that you're on a boat that's got 1,000 people and the boat is sinking. Don't worry, it's just imaginary. You don't actually have to do this. The boat's sinking and there's one lifeboat and there's only 6 spots left on this lifeboat. What's your case for why you should be on that lifeboat? What are the gifts, the strengths, the traits that you have that would make you crucial for someone else's survival? Because these aren't just like cool things. They're divine assignments. You weren't given these gifts just randomly. You didn't wake up this morning randomly. You were chosen to be on this lifeboat this morning when you woke up. Every talent you have is meant to serve others. And if you're not using it to serve, to shine, that's selfish, ultimately. It's selfish for you to hold back the gifts that you have because you're afraid people won't like you or they'll judge you or it'll hurt your feelings. It's not really up to you. So I invite you to comment below, what are your gifts that you've been gifted, that you've been given? And are you using them fully in your business? I'll give you an example. I am able to create content. I have a little charisma. I can turn on a camera and talk. It hasn't always been this way, but I've cultivated this, right? It's a skill. And I was really nervous about making this video. I was like, oh my God, is it too much? Is it not enough? Will it be helpful? What are people gonna think? And I was like, you know what, Amanda? What's the consciousness? What's the energy? How would you show up if you knew you were just the messenger, that this is something that you are doing with the intention to serve because you're excited about it, you enjoy it, it's been helpful to you, your clients are enjoying, and just allow myself to be a channel. I'm just the messenger. I'm just here to serve. Do you know what a giant exhale it was for me to come to that realization? It used to take me so long to make a YouTube video because I was so confused and doubtful and it just seemed so hard. And now I can do it and I whip it out before my calls in the morning. So I want you to comment below, please, if you feel called, what gifts them fully in your business. So your leadership plan for Leo season is look back at your content. It could be, however long back you want to look, like for the past 30 days. What was the consciousness or the intention you brought to that? Are you doing it for applause, for likes, for views, or is it because what you feel called to share that day? What was the intention? Step into your service. Hiding your gifts isn't humble, it's selfish. The world needs exactly what you have to offer. Your soul clients are out there right now, and they've signed a contract to struggle until you show up and sell them something. They got to be able to find you. Write down what you are letting go of this month: the fear, doubt, judgment, limiting beliefs. Like, literally write them down, and I want you to burn that list. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And really, I invite you to step into your leadership this month. If you are ready to step fully into magnetic visibility, definitely join us in my free community, Spiritual Business School. We do live weekly calls every Monday. In fact, these slides were inspired by our call yesterday, where it's open for everybody. I have a ton of free resources on how to find your online persona with human design. I've got a whole free roadmap course to get you started and going. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I have a couple spots left in my mastermind. You can apply for that below. Because when your business matches your energy, you're able to make more by doing less. Alignment, intention, leadership creates the miracles that you've been seeking. The miracle is already present. You wouldn't have these desires if the fulfillment didn't already exist. You wouldn't even know to want to have a successful business and have an audience who loves you and a community and committed clients. You wouldn't even know about that if it wasn't readily available for you. You're just not able to see it yet. You're not able to receive it because you haven't done the physical and spiritual work necessary to reveal it. But it's already there. There's in the quantum, there's infinite versions of you. There is a version of you right now living her very best life with all of the things that you desire. And every time you do your part of this physical and spiritual work, you literally quantum jump timelines into a whole new reality. And it might look physically the same, but it's different. There's different actors, different energy, different gifts, and fulfillment of your desires readily available. Okay, so that's it. Comment below, what is one physical, visible action you commit to taking this week, no matter what? Mine is I'm going to finish recording spring and start on fall. That's mine. Comment that below, and I can't wait to see you inside Spiritual Business School.